mentioned.
Oh, like a vaccine?
Yes.
That kind of stalled. And the dilemma is we don't clearly understand the process. You know, we know that, like you were saying, there has to be a genetic predisposition to that.
Right.
So there's 5 places on the genome where we know those 5 places have to be triggered for a person to be susceptible to MS. So all 5 of those places have to be open and susceptible in order for that to switch in a person to be susceptible.
So could you find out if you're susceptible?
Not yet.
Okay.
There is more research on that now, and so the current idea is that we do know the 5 places on the genome where it is.
Right.
Not everybody is available to trigger those 5 places. So not everybody is open to getting it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
those 5 places have to be present on the genome, and not everybody has those. So then the question is, how do those places unlock to be manipulated?
Right.
And so what we understand is that prior to the age of 15, most likely, and this is how most autoimmune disorders are triggered, is that prior to the age of 15, individuals who end up with MS had a viral infection of some sort. We don't know what the offending virus is. We're still looking at Epstein-Barr virus. We're looking at these viruses. So viruses are the common trigger for autoimmune disorders. We know that parvo-19 virus is the trigger for type 1 diabetes.
Right.
That's an autoimmune disorder. So kids get parvovirus, which is all over the place. I mean, it's called slap face disease. Kids get this confluent red rash on their face, and kids in grammar school get it all the time. It's all over the place. It's not the same parvo that dogs get.
I was just going to ask.
It's not the same parvo, but it's in the same viral family. You know, so it's in the same viral family. But so these kids get this parvo-19, and then shortly with high fever and so on. And shortly after that, we find that their immune system is changed, and they develop type 1 diabetes.
Right.
So that virus triggered the change in those genes in the genome to allow them to be susceptible to change, and that's what allows them in the future to develop the MS. We're thinking that vitamin D is very important in stabilizing those genes on the genome so that they don't open up and they don't allow manipulation.
Right.
So that's where the northern latitude piece comes in here. So what happens when those genes are triggered is that there are these segments called human leukocyte antigens. And we're learning more about those human leukocyte antigens. There's HLA-B asterisk 15 is the one that is specific for making that switch in there that allows, it can tell you exactly how bad that person's MS is going to be. And so we're developing tests for that HLA-B15 to see, because what we've seen over the years is that, for example, the indigenous people, for example, of Canada, have a specific HLA-B format, and they are resistant to this manipulation of their genome. Same will probably be true with the Alaska Natives. But people of Northern European heritage, no such luck. They have this HLA-B15 asterisk that allows that genome to be manipulated.
Right.
But it's a matter of how deep the genome is penetrated is the language they use. So it's how deep that thing is flipped is going to tell how bad their MS is going to be.
So could our children be tested?
Not yet. It's right around the corner, though. I mean, these are being tested on humans right now. I mean, and they are used in the big research centers. That's how I know the information. But there's a lot of this information collected from the Scandinavian countries. You know, I was talking to Rod Smith, who's a pediatric neurologist here in town, and he and I both have been, on a soapbox about vitamin D for years and years and years. So I'm adamant that my folks with MS and their children go on vitamin D because it stabilizes that genome so that it doesn't flip that HLA.
Right.
I found this really awesome micro tablet, very high quality vitamin D that's very inexpensive, and I'm really excited about it.
So how much vitamin D?
2,000 IUs a day.
Okay, what about for a child?
That needs to talk. We need to talk to the pediatrician. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
babies take it?
Pediatrician.
With the
Supplementally?
pediatrician, it depends on if they're breastfeeding and all that other jazz. But up here in Alaska, yeah, everybody needs to be on D. Summer, winter, we just don't get the sun here.